Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I think it's no secret at this point that one of the most toxic places on the internet is anything involving pro-ship versus anti-discourse. We've covered this sort of stuff in previous videos, whether it's bad tweets or bad TikToks or bad Tumblr posts. They all share a community of mostly younger people who are deeply invested in attacking and harassing each other over fictional content. In particular, the sorts of ships people have between fictional characters. Now, to answer the burning question, Rev, are you pro-ship? Of course I'm pro-ship. The shipping industry is very important to any modern economy, but nonetheless, that is going to be the topic for today. We're going to look at some insane pro-ship versus anti-takes. Now, here's the basic problem with a lot of this stuff. 90% of the people involved in this discourse who are attacking what they believe are pro-shippers don't even know the basic definition of that term, and yet they still feel comfortable harassing and attacking others over it. Okay, so you can see a common misconception right here. A lot of people believe this is the definition of what pro-ship is. It means that a ship between two fictional characters contains what they deem are problematic dynamics between those characters, when in reality that is not the definition of pro-ship. Pro-ship is a lot more basic. It basically means that you respect the right of others to ship whatever fictional characters together that they want. Even if that means the ships involve themes or characters that you don't like, or you even find gross or disgusting. But you allow them to have their right to ship whatever fictional characters they want because you want them to respect your ability to ship whatever fictional characters you want, because shipping fictional characters together does not harm anyone. And that is something that any reasonable adult would agree with. But we've seen tons and tons of people be harassed, sent death threats, and routinely harassed over fictional ships and being labeled as a pro-shipper by antis. Now, you can see the kind of cringe we're dealing with here, the kind of brain rot. Here is a recent tweet saying, "Pro-shippers, your faves would hate you, by the way." Now, unfortunately, I have to disagree with this. Your faves in fiction would not hate pro-shippers. In fact, they wouldn't hate anything. In fact, going even further, they wouldn't feel anything because they're not real. They don't have feelings, they don't have thoughts, they don't have sentience. They're just drawings. Treating them like real people with feelings is deranged. Now, in the spirit of tweets like that, I thought we could play a little game together, okay? We could do something to test your cringe levels, how thick your skin is when it comes to cringe. How many TikToks have you watched? How much time have you spent on Tumblr looking at cringe? We're going to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a piece of artwork made by an anti that is supposed to be roasting pro-shippers, and I want us to go through it together. And I want you, the audience, to keep track, keep a tally of how many times you cringe as we go through. And I want you to collect that number and share it in the comment section, and let's see the results together, okay? So what are we dealing with here? Well, this username Sky made this tweet saying, "Someone made a song roasting pro-shippers, and it's the most middle school level BS I've ever seen." Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read through this song that is supposedly roasting pro-shippers, and I want you to tally up the cringe, because here we go. Now, keep in mind, I'm not musically inclined, so I'm going to monotone read my way through this, but let's begin. "Listen up, pro-shippers. I got something to say. Your ship is sinking like the Titanic. No way to stay. You think it's cute, but it's just plain wrong. Leaves a sour taste in my mouth, like a bad song. Roasting pro-shippers. It's time to bring the heat. Their ship's about to crash. Can't you see? No need to sugarcoat. It's better to be real. Pro-shipping is a joke. Let me give you the deal. Your arguments are weak, your logic flawed. I can't believe how many of you are in awe of a ship that's just not meant to sail. All of you need a reality check. Don't be frail. Roasting pro-shippers. It's time to bring the heat. Their ship's about to crash. Can't you see? No need to sugarcoat. It's better to be real. Pro-shipping is a joke. Let me give you the deal. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's time to face the facts. Pro-shipping just a fad that we need to give the axe. It's time to move on. Find a new ship to sail. Leave the pro-shippers behind. Let's prevail. Roasting pro-shippers. It's time to bring the heat. Their ship's about to crash. Can't you see? No need to sugarcoat. it's better to be real. Pro shipping is a joke. Let me give you the deal. Oh, I'm wiping the cringe off of myself. Okay, so please feel free to share in the comments section how many times you cringed. Maybe you're just like me. You've dealt with this a lot before and you have a very thick tolerance for cringe. But that's the deal for now, okay? So, yeah, share your thoughts about this chart-topping hit right here. But yeah, I've seen it all before with pro ship, and a lot of this is a joke, okay, right? Like, we know that these people are just goofy as hell when it comes to, like, that song, for example. I think stuff like that's harmless and cringe and something to laugh at. But unfortunately, a lot of the things we see involving this discourse is not something to laugh at. I'm going to show you some examples of that, and they really won't shock you if you're familiar with this channel. So there's a lot more sinister connotation with pro shipping in the eyes of antis. So here's an example of a tweet with over 10,000 views saying, in quotes, pro shipping is harmless because it's not affecting real children, end quote. Yet most pro shippers get outed as groomers and predators. But how many antis have, huh? Who's going to tell them? Okay, so number one, this idea of yet most pro shippers get outed as groomers and predators with absolutely zero evidence of this. Imagine, what would probably be hundreds of millions of people across the planet. You're saying most of them would be outed? No. And also, if you've been around this channel or anything related to my sort of content on places like Twitter, you know there is a floating archive of dozens, if not into the hundreds, of antis who have been outed as actual real-life predators, okay? There's projection, and a lot of it is not just some pattern. It's becoming very, very noticeable. A noticeable routine appearance of people canceling others and labeling them predators over drawings who end up getting outed as real-life predators themselves. So it's hardly surprising when we see bizarre interactions like this. So the Daily Dose of Discourse, their Twitter account, made this poll, or saw this poll, where it was asking who's winning in terms of who's better, right? And my God, self-harm Twitter versus pro-shipper Twitter. They're basically saying that self-harm Twitter is better than pro-shipper Twitter. Now, if you don't know what self-harm Twitter is, God bless you, you're doing well. Self-harm Twitter is basically a place on places like Twitter, Tumblr, and alike, where self-harm is the main topic, okay? This is, I don't mean to make anyone uncomfortable, but to describe it, it is a place that not only encourages, it also glorifies and even sexualizes self-harm, okay? And not only that, that sort of corner of the internet is rampant with children and predators taking advantage of them. It is the worst place in the internet, okay? There's the 5 pillars of hell on the internet. Self-harm Twitter's got to be there, okay? It's very disgusting stuff. And going through this whole reaction to this, people are like, my God, this is so terrible. Where the main account says, literally too stunned to speak right now. And they're a recovering self-harm addict. Where this anti would reply, relapse. Basically encouraging them to harm themselves once again. This is to a real human being. And this is beyond disturbing. I don't have to explain to you why this is so disturbing. And people would say, wow, that's low. And you think you're on the moral side. Damn. And they said, never said that I'm on the moral side. I just don't like people with weird poontang addictions. Yep. That's all it takes in their minds. They see people saying shipping characters together is okay in fiction. And they say that a real life person should harm themselves over it. And they're somehow on the moral side. Or, well, I guess I was never on the moral side. I just don't like you, so that terrible set of things should happen to you. Really disgusting behavior, but it's sad that we're not that surprised. Because the creepiness that involves this whole discourse too is very palpable. So we were talking about self-harm Twitter and having an issue with a lot of children being involved. There's this idea that keeping children out of adult spaces offends some people, and it's very, very weird. So this tweet down here is basically saying that adult spaces should remain to adults, and children have zero place in it. A completely agreeable take, right? Well, this user disagrees, saying, I actually very much disagree with this, because it's honestly a form of segregation that only intends on theoretically improving the vague atmosphere of a space, which is not an appropriate reason to ethically to ban children from non-adult 18 plus spaces. I don't care if there's not any sort of like a sexual theme or anything, but if there's an adult space, children have no place being there. Anyone who says otherwise, immediately sus. Immediately sus, and I'm glad this tweet got absolutely dunked on. 1 like with 28,000 views. Thank God there's some hope out there that people like this trying to normalize children in adult spaces is getting attacked and criticized, because this tweet right here, disturbing to say the least. But going forward, you guys might have remembered the whole K-pop drama where some K-pop idols were canceled for watching Made in Abyss, the anime and manga series. So someone gave their final thoughts basically saying whatever fiction you consume, that's not an actual reflection of who you are as a person in real life things. And this person says, as someone who's taken multiple courses on media and social behavioralism, as it's a requirement for my major, no matter how much you guys like to deny it, fiction is influenced by reality and fiction affects reality. In fact, your interest of your creation is often a reflection of you. Well, you're failing your classes, obviously. You're not passing your classes if you believe those things. There's absolutely no proof to suggest any of this is true. And I don't care if you're going to your Intro 101 philosophy class. You don't know better than experts, and you don't have anything to back it up. So I can't believe anyone would tweet this. It's embarrassing, but it has almost 4,000 likes on it. But here's a much more appropriate take. This person says, in quotes, what you consume in fiction defines who you are, end quote. Some of you consume shows with moral lessons, but you guys always turn out to be some of the most horrible human beings that walk the earth. What you consume in fiction doesn't define who you are, but it's how you treat other people. And that is the best way to end this video. What you consume in fiction does not reflect who you are as a person in real life. Your actions as a person, the words and the things you say to other people is what defines you. And as you can see with a lot of these antis, they consume content that should tell them to be a better person, and yet they are telling real-life human beings to harm themselves and that they deserve bad things to happen to them because of the fictional content they consume. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed a little pro-ship anti-discourse. Please share all of your thoughts about today's comments in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.